My husband's, 33 male, company recently chose him to attend a conference in Miami. They chose just him and a few of his co-workers out of a ton of candidates, so it was quite the honor. The company told them that they were allowed to bring their spouses/partners, but that they wouldn't be springing for plane tickets for us, so if they wanted to bring us they'd have to buy tickets out of their own pockets. My husband asked me, 32 female, if I wanted to go, and I emphatically told him that I did. I'd never been to Florida in my life and I thought it'd be a fun trip. He told me, great, but when we went to the website to buy tickets he asked if I'd be okay with flying coach, even though he'd be flying first class on the way there, coach on the way home. I asked him why we couldn't just fly together, and he replied, first class is just so expensive. I feel bad, but we just can't afford it, especially if we want to go out and have fun in Miami. The flight is only a few hours. This really bothered me. I understood that a first-class ticket for me would strain our budget a bit, but what kind of a man lives it up in first class while his wife sits in coach? I asked him just that and he responded, come on. I'm taking you along on my work trip. I earned my first-class seat by working hard. It's my reward. But I insisted that if we truly couldn't afford a first-class seat for me, we could have, it would have hurt a little, but we could have, that he as a gentleman should give up his seat for me. We argued, but he ultimately agreed to give me his seat. We had a good time in Miami, but he's been a little mad at me since, saying that he earned his first-class seat, that it was free and cost us nothing unlike my plane ticket, and that I should have just let him enjoy what he'd earned instead of guilting him out of it. I think he's being a baby and that he should have put his wife's comfort above his own, especially since he made the choice to be cheap. We're very close to his parents, so we've taken this argument to them for mediation, but they are split. His father agrees with me that he wasn't being a gentleman, while his mother thinks that he earned his first-class seat and that I should have let him have it. So I'll ask all of you, who is right? My 25 female, husband's, 30 male, brother male 33 moved in with us after his divorce few weeks ago. The problem I have is that he started barging into the bathroom whenever I'm using it. He never knocks or anything. Another thing is that he only does this when it's me in the bathroom, not his brother. I told my husband about what I'd noticed, but he laughed it off and called me paranoid. It was embarrassing because his brother would see me exposed and it made me uncomfortable. My husband said he spoke to him and he apologized but did it again. When my husband and I got married, we promised to not have locks or lock each other out of any room. So the bathroom didn't have a lock. I was really considering getting a lock, and I let my husband know that if his brother walks in on me in the bathroom one more time, then a lock will instantly be installed. He didn't say anything. Well, yesterday, brother walked in on me showering. He knew I would be in the shower but barged in, anyone claiming he needed to pee. I had enough. I went out and got a lock and installed it. My husband got home, saw it and blew up on me saying I violated an agreement that I was part of, and went against his wishes, being uncomfortable with locks in the house. He demanded I remove it and promised and guaranteed that his brother won't walk in on me again, but I refused. He's been pissed about it since then and is giving the silence treatment. UPAT date. So before I provide an update on this situation, it's worth noting that my brother used to do this with the bedroom too, but at least I'm not always exposed in the bedroom. So my husband came home and I told him the lock will not be removed till his brother leaves, and his reaction was to try and remove the lock himself and tell me to quit acting childishy. What I did was not shout or scream, but pack a bag and go to my mom's house for the next few days or so till this gets resolved somehow. On my way out I saw my brother in the driveway smoking. He knew what the argument between me and my husband was about, but instead of stepping up to fix it, he offered to take me to my mom's house, saying that my husband could use some space from me. This made me cry the whole Uber ride to my mom's house. The reason I feel offended is because brother tend to be hurtful when he talks about others. I did all I could to win his approval, but he thinks less of me and thinks I'm childish, just like my husband says. I, 32 female, have a friend Ashley, 33 female, who is getting married the first week of November. We've been friends since we were kids, and I'm also a bridesmaid in her wedding. We've been talking about wedding stuff for the past year as I recently married in April, so it's been fun doing wedding stuff together until Ashley dropped some bad news. The person responsible for the cake for her wedding is moving and is no longer able to do it. She was refunded her money but now out of a cake. I am a cake decorator myself. I was a teacher, and this is my first year as a school administrator, but I've held jobs in high-end bakeries and make cakes for fun out of my house. I don't have a cake business as I don't want one. Ashley asked me if I can do her wedding cake. I at first declined as I never do cakes for large events, but with the date coming up and her not being able to find anyone, I caved. Ashley wants a 4-tiered cake with 4 different flavors and 100 cupcakes. 25 of each flavor. The decorations will require me to order specialty molds, and I'll have to hand paint some gold onto the cake, as well. Total cost came out to $825, $100 more than the previous baker. Ashley was upset and said I was overcharging, but I showed her the breakdown. I used the same pricing system as one of the bakeries I worked at, and it wasn't even the most expensive one. I told her I would do it for the other quote if she was strapped for money, but Ashley then asked me to do it for only $150. When I asked why, Ashley said since she's my friend, she should get a good deal and she could use the money to upgrade the hotel for their honeymoon, to think of it as my wedding gift to her. I told her she was getting a good deal as I was willing to go to the price point of the previous baker. But she mentioned that I did my sister's cake for free several years ago and do free birthday and anniversary cakes for my immediate family all the time. I told her family and friends are not the same. Plus, I had more time to do my sister's cake as I had less responsibilities as a teacher back then compared to what I do now. She told me I needed a friend discount, so I said, the discount is you get 0% off 100% of the time, and if you keep bothering me, I'll even add tax. Basically, Ashley didn't like that response and has told the rest of the bridal party what I said, so I'm getting pressure from 9 additional women to drop the price, though some say to half it instead of dropping it to $150. My parents paid for my wedding, so their main argument is I don't need the money nearly as much as Ashley does, which they only know because they saw me using my parents' credit card several times when out wedding shopping. Only her maid of honor, her sister, thinks Ashley is being unreasonable. My husband thinks I should drop out of the wedding and not give her anything, but he also doesn't like Ashley or her fiancé. He thinks she's a spoiled brat. I, 28 female, am a mom to 2 kids, a 7-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy. Their dad is my ex, and he and I ended things when I was pregnant with our son BC. He cheated on me with a friend of mine, who he's now married to. Despite the fact that the situation kind of sucks, I try my best to be as civil as possible for the sake of my children. My daughter has been asking for a superhero-themed room for a while now, so I slowly saved up and worked on a few DIY projects so that I could actually give her one. I managed to get one of those race car beds for a decent price, and painted it to make it look like the Batmobile. I bought some stickers and posters to put on the walls, new curtains, sheets, drawer knobs, new shelves to hold all her comics, etc. While she was at school the other day, I was able to get it all assembled in her room, so she came home to a surprise. She was so happy and excited about it that I guess she ended up telling her dad when she and her brother were at his house for the weekend. My ex called me and asked if I had given our son's room a makeover too, then he got upset when I said that I hadn't. He said that giving our daughter a new room while not doing the same for our son was completely unfair and it looked like I was showing favoritism. I tried to explain that I only redid her room to begin with because she asked me if I would a while ago, and I saved up to be able to make it happen. If my son had asked for a new room, I would have done it for him too. He still insisted that I'm a bad mom for decorating one kid's room and not the others. And that even if our other child didn't ask for it, I should have done it anyway. I said that he really wanted to make it even, he could just contribute money for our son to get his room redone too. He then told me that decorating my house isn't his responsibility, and that he thinks I'm doing more for our daughter because I probably still have some emotional issues from the breakup when I was pregnant with our son, so I'm taking it out on him. I told him I'd work on our son's room while the kids were at his place until Sunday evening, and then I hung up. I don't know if this is all just me letting his words get into my head and that's why I feel bad now, or if I actually messed up by redoing my daughter's room but not my son's. My daughter, Nadi, started new school this August. We moved from one coast to another and had some adjusting to do. When she started school, her teacher gave us a list of supplies she needed, things like 24 packs of crayons, 300 pencils, etc. These are examples, I don't remember exact numbers, but it was quite a lot. I got everything from the list. The school is located in a very good district and most parents are well off, and as far as I know, most parents have bought everything on the list. You'd think that it was done and dusted, but no, we are a month in and Nadi just brought a new list home which lists the same supplies in large quantities. I thought it might have been a mistake and messaged other mothers in our group chat, and they were as surprised as I was. However, the list was confirmed by an email we received from the teacher, asking us to bring the supplies as soon as possible and that lists will be supplied to us every 4 to 6 weeks. I know that kids go through a lot of supplies but not this many. It was all very odd. I tried to snoop a little and find the teacher on Facebook, but I couldn't find her. However, when my friend came over, she was able to locate her. It seems that the teacher blocked all the parents on Facebook. Turns out the teacher is selling supplies, crayons, etc. on the marketplace, and she even had a page and link to her website. To say that I was shocked would be an understatement. It seems that she is asking the parents to buy extra supplies and then resells it. What other reason does she have to require over 400 packs of crayons every 4 to 6 weeks? Like I said, most parents supplied everything on the supply list. I have kept it to myself because I am unsure of what to do, but I am considering reporting the teacher to school so they can properly investigate. I thought it was the right thing to do, but my sister-in-law is a teacher and she told me I would be the asshole if I were to do that because kids go through a lot of supplies and no way the teacher resells them. It's probably a coincidence. But I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I haven't told other parents about my suspicious because I don't want to start a witch hunt before school can investigate. But would I be the asshole for reporting her?
My girlfriend has gained a considerable amount of weight in the last 18 months. My attraction to her is diminishing. She has recently embraced body positivity and is happy and content how she is. Is there a way for me to see past this weight gain? If not, how do I end this relationship without hurting her or affecting her confidence and self-esteem? Our relationship started just over 2 years ago. We were good friends before our relationship started, and I have a very deep love for her that I have never come close to with anyone else. She has always been on the curvy side. I have always liked curvy women. For me, there is a definite line between curvy and overweight, and I fear she is now way past this. I started to notice her weight gaining steadily about 6 months into our relationship. It was nothing dramatic at first, but it has steadily ratcheted up over the last year and a half. Although the weight gain is probably modest in poundage, it has had a dramatic effect on her appearance, especially on her face. I always loved her curves, but she has completely lost all definition. Her clothes don't fit her well anymore. The weight gain has become a huge problem for me. While her food intake is now very heavy on junk, I am not going to pretend I am primarily concerned about the effect this is having on her health. My problem is that I am losing my attraction to her. I can't stop fixating on how she will look in the future. I hate myself for thinking this way. I see 2 ways out of this problem. 1. See thought this. Accept her choices. Love her for who she is and stop fixating on her appearance. Or 2. Break up with her. make up an excuse for doing so. If she had any inclination that I was breaking up with her because of her weight, this would absolutely shatter her confidence. I can't let that happen. Some of you may ask, why can't I just address the weight issue? Support her and help her to be happier and healthier? My answer, because she is happy with how she looks. She has acknowledged her weight gain in passing but does not seem in any way concerned. She is happy and confident, and I am terrified that I might upset this confidence if I say anything. Since the beginning of the year, she has become very interested in body positivity. She goes through blogs, books, podcasts from a variety of sources. She is very opinionated on this subject and is highly critical of toxic elements of diet culture such as transformation shows, diet influencers, etc. I agree with her on a lot of this. But I often catch her dissing people who are into sports, healthy eating, or just general concern about their appearance. Losing weight and keeping it off is much harder than many people think. It requires consistency, discipline, and motivation. I have known many people over the years, especially in my extended family, who have struggled, yo-yoed, and ultimately failed in this endeavor. I know her inside out. I know that even if she turned around tomorrow and had the will to lose some weight, she does not have the discipline and motivation to follow through for the long term. What is tragic about this is that I have never seen her as happy as she has been in the last few months. She is enjoying her life and is optimistic about our future. All the time, completely oblivious to these thoughts that I have been having. I would really love to hear from anyone who has been in this situation and has managed to work through it. Thanks. My girlfriend has gained a lot of weight. My attraction to her is diminishing. She is happy and content with how she is. Can I see past this weight gain? If not, how do I end this relationship without hurting her or affecting her confidence and self-esteem? My girlfriend, while we were cuddling, mentioned someone else. A couple nights ago, me and my girlfriend were cuddling in bed and she wanted to listen to my heartbeat, then I wanted to listen to her heartbeat. After I listened to her heartbeat, she then said, "Oh, I remember something, me and my FWB had sex and then he held me all night and listened to my heartbeat because I was so still that he thought I was dead." After that night I've been rather upset because of the situation, because of the fact that she was thinking of one of her past relationships while we were having an intimate time. I was really upset that night and decided that I couldn't bear to sleep in the same bed as her and moved to sleep in the living room couch instead. I talked to her about it, but she says that she feels like I don't want her to be honest in our relationship because I'm not comfortable with her talking about her past. But I feel like her thinking about another person while we're being intimate makes me wonder why she's thinking about having had sex with another person. I don't want to end the relationship because I truly love her, but is there any advice I could get to help get the way I feel across to her?